Hey everybody, it's me, Shauna Glenn. Okay, oh God, I look 40. All right, we'll just forget that I don't look 40. I'm here because I wanted to promote my new book, Relative Insanity. So if you don't like self-important, self-promoting, super indulgent videos, you may not want to watch. Just skip to the next one I do. But I wanted to read you a passage from this book. Hold on, let me get in front of the camera. See, it's like opposite. There we go. So, yes, the question I get asked the most about the book is the girl in the picture me? Yes, it is me. And I was going to wear the dress for the video, but when I took it out of the closet, it smelled like urine. And I thought that probably wouldn't be appropriate to wear a urine-smelling dress for my big video promoting the book. And but don't worry, the person who peed in my dress will be dealt with accordingly. And if it was me that happened to pee in the dress, well, then it's just another Thursday around here. I'm sorry. Anyway, Relative Insanity, it's out now. I hope that you will buy it. I can't force you to buy it, because if I could, I would, but I think that might be against the law. So I'm just hoping that you will buy it and read it, and hopefully you'll like it. If you like me, you'll probably like it. If you don't like me, you'll probably hate it. I can't please everybody, people. Okay, I've tried that. I gave up on that a long time ago. I'm just doing the best that I can, keep my head above water, and not stab my cat, who's circling my feet as we speak. All right. Okay, so the part of the book I'm going to read is kind of towards the beginning, and it's when the main character, Kate, talks about the first time she went away on a trip with her now husband. And so that's the part I'm going to read about their first trip together and the first time they had sex. All right. Hold on. Okay, better. After we'd been dating for a few weeks, Tom invited me to go away for the weekend. He suggested New Orleans. It sounded fun. I was excited. I'd never been to New Orleans before, but I'd always wanted to. I didn't know much about it, except that's where Mardi Gras is held and that Emeril Lagasse lives there. We met at the airport on Friday afternoon. I was a little nervous going away with Tom. We had been to dinner a few times, and he kissed me the last time we went out. It was magical. There were fireworks and goosebumps and weak knees, but that had been it. No fondling or dry humping. Nothing. It had been very innocent up to this point. But now I was going away, which meant sharing a room, which meant more than likely sex. It's not like I was a virgin. No, I'd had plenty of sex before, but Tom was different. I really liked him, and I didn't want to do anything to screw it up or make him not like me. I have to admit, I held back a lot, which was hard for me because I sort of have an in-your-face kind of personality. I acted shy, batted my eyelashes, and tried not to say anything dumb or offensive, which is also hard for me sometimes. I grew up with two brothers and all male cousins, so there were lots of penis and fart jokes, sex talk, and wild use of the F word. There was no holding back in my family, so knowing when to put the brakes on when in the company of the general public or your future husband can be tricky. To help ease me into the weekend, I decided to drink. Not a lot, just something to take the edge off. We sat at the airport bar, waiting for our airplane to arrive, and Tom ordered me a glass of Sauvignon Blanc and a gin and tonic for himself. After sipping the wine and making small talk for a minute, Tom got up and excused himself to the men's room. I took this opportunity to walk up to the bartender, order a shot of vodka, then another. They both went down so smoothly, and I felt my inhibitions and my nervousness subsiding. I returned to my seat just as Tom sat down in his, and the two of us looked at each other. I didn't say anything. I just sat there, smiling at him like a crazed person. The liquor had certainly taken effect. Wow, that was fast. Tom smiled back and asked, "You okay?" I didn't speak. I couldn't get my mouth to cooperate with my brain and vice versa. Tom looked at my empty wine glass and said, "Oh, let me get you another." Before I had a chance to explain that I didn't really need another drink, the waitress appeared and sat another glass of wine in front of me. By the time I finished my second glass and 2 shots of vodka, I had found my voice again, although the top had been removed off the vat in my mind marked inappropriate date conversation. I proceeded to tell Tom all about the dog I had growing up. He was a boxer named Shadow, and he had a farting problem. He farted morning, noon, and night, and there was nothing my parents could do to fix it. So Shadow spent most of his days and nights outside because the smell of his farts was so bad, no one could stand being around him. As I finished telling this obnoxious story, the desk agent began calling for our flight. Tom jumped out of his seat a little too eagerly, and that's when I realized I'd done it again. I'd opened my mouth and shared something that wasn't useful, interesting, or appropriate. It was just gross. On the plane, I limited my alcohol to 0, slamming Diet Coke and water instead. Twice Tom asked if I was sure I didn't want to drink, and twice I smiled and said, "Yes, I'm quite sure. You'll thank me later." Tom smiled at me and reached into my lap and held my hand. I laid my head back on the seat, closed my eyes, and enjoyed the feel of his strong, warm hand in mine. My farting dog story hadn't scared him off after all. When we arrived in New Orleans, Tom had us a room at I can't remember the name of it, but it was a famous place. Anyway, it was beautiful, and the architecture was something you see in history books. Our room was stunning, with a massive 4-poster bed, heavy antique furniture, and fresh flowers everywhere. I felt like Scarlett O'Hara, if Scarlett O'Hara was unorganized and somewhat of a mess. As I stood at the window staring at the late afternoon sky, Tom came up behind me and wrapped his arms around my waist. I immediately got chills up my spine. He nuzzled my neck with his lips and then whispered in my ear, "Is this okay?" I whipped around, throwing myself against Tom, which must have caught him off guard because he lost his footing and we both fell to the floor in a heap. Before I could apologize, he burst out laughing and said, "You're quite the maniac, aren't you?" I tried to look defeated. "When did you figure it out?" "Baby, I knew it 2 seconds after I met you on the elevator." "And you asked me out anyway?" I was puzzled. Tom raised an eyebrow. There was a twinkle in his eye. That's when I realized I couldn't go another minute without getting to know you better. And that's the first time Tom and I had sex, right in the middle of the floor of a hotel I couldn't even remember the name of. A little while later, I thought it would be really romantic to spread rose petals around the room. Tom had gone downstairs to make a phone call, so that gave me the perfect opportunity to tear all the red rose petals off the stems and throw them all over the bed. I then made a trail from the door to the room of the bed. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Wait. I then made a trail from the door of the room to the bed. Okay, that's better. I quickly pulled out my lacy bra and panties, which didn't exactly match. I'd forgotten to plan that, and slipped into the bathroom to change. After adjusting the bra straps, pushing up my boobs so they looked their perkiest, and spritzing myself with Calvin Klein's Eternity, I quickly ran to the bed and jumped onto it, setting up my most seductive pose. I realized I was breathing heavily and tried to calm myself down so I wouldn't seem like a panting dog in heat when Tom arrived. After what seemed like forever, Tom opened the door and took in the scene laid out before him. He put the "Do Not Disturb" sign on the door, hubba hubba, before closing it, and then took no time at all in stripping down to nakedness and joined me under the crisp white linen bed sheets, the one covered in red rose petals. As you can imagine, red rose petals, massage oil, sweat, and white sheets don't go well together. After we finished for the 3rd time in an hour, the bed was not looking too well. Okay, that's putting it lightly. It looked like a mass murder had taken place in it. The sheets were stained a bloody crimson. The petals themselves had shriveled up and faded into the 400 thread count linens becoming part of them. The petals I'd spread out on the floor began staining the beige-colored Berber carpet, and the bottle of massage oil, okay, it was baby oil, and I used it to take off my eye makeup, but it works, had slipped off the nightstand, and a puddle the size of a pancake had formed also in the Berber carpet. We had completely ruined the place. I got up from the bed and surveyed the damage. Yep, this is going to cost a fortune to fix. People like this take pride in their appearance and their service. They don't take lightly to people trashing the place. That's why they don't cater to certain types: fraternities, bachelor parties, high school kids wanting to get laid, etc. Now they can add us to the list of people not to rent rooms to. Tom slipped out of the bed, steel naked, which made me blush a little, and stood next to me. He must have been thinking what I was thinking because he said, "Let's get out of here before housekeeping comes by and sees the room, or worse, calls the manager." I turned to him and said, "That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's go." Before he could say any more, I was pulling my jeans on and was throwing my things into my suitcase. Tom came over to me and grabbed my arm. "We're not going anywhere. I was joking." Joking? Did he think this was funny? "Tom, we've destroyed a hotel room in less than 4 hours. I mean, look at this place. No telling how much you paid for it. What, $500? It's completely trash." Tom looked around the room again and then leaned down and kissed me on the neck. "It's $1,000 a night. Now get dressed. I'm starving." Okay, I think I'm going to stop there because I'm sweating. Oh my God. Reading from a book and worrying that I can't read very well. And seriously, to be honest with you, I haven't read this book since, I don't know, I wrote it. And, let's see, not since I edited it the 4th or 5th time. And I can't really remember what's going to happen next. So you will have to buy it so you can find out too. So anyway, please buy my book. And there's even stuff on the back and short stories as a bonus. So anyway, I hope you like it, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon next time here on Shauna Glenn TV. All right, bye.